of the surging Astros, the Indians now invade Southern Ohio to take on the suddenly scuffling Reds. Offense has not been the problem for Cincinnati, but their pitching staff has. They've blown up over the last 7 games, allowing a whopping 59 runs. The Tribe offense is starting to stir, led by Jason Kipnis at the top of the order and Yan Gomes at the bottom. And they'll try to continue the Reds' woes next on Sports Time Ohio. On the banks of the Ohio River, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, the battle for the Ohio Cup begins tonight between Cleveland and Cincinnati. The Indians have dominated of late, winning 9 of their last 10 against Cincinnati. Yesterday, Yan Gomes joined Jim Hegan as the only Indians catchers to ever have at least 3 games with 5 runs batted in. Billy Hamilton for Cincinnati comes in leading the majors with 23 stolen bases. That's 7 more than the Indians have as a team. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe's offense starting to get on a roll, and it all started when Terry Francona inserted Jason Kipnis into the leadoff spot. And Rick, he's hit in every game, 7 straight. His longest hitting streak in his career, a 20-gamer, when he was batting leadoff 2 years ago.
Well, he's taken to that leadoff spot, and it's a good thing. It's an action position in the lineup, and I think he really likes it. You know, he bears down a little bit more, but then again, he's got his legs underneath him, and they had a heck of a series in Houston. And it all started with the starting pitching down there. They were 3-0. You see a brilliant 2.95 ERA, and that's the way this team has to play. To get the lead after 6 innings, they're 17-0 when they have that lead. Turn it over to the bullpen, let that offense score early, and throw zeros up on the board.
All right, we'll see if they can continue that formula here tonight against Cincinnati. We'll be back with the first pitch, but when we come back, we'll check in with Andre Knott, who has the story of Billy Hamilton. Is he the last of the prototype leadoff men? We'll find out coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. There's Josh Tomlin along with Yan Gomes and Mickey Callaway making his way to the Indians dugout. He'll get the start tonight against Cincinnati in the first of this 4-game home and home. 2 here and then 2 back in Cleveland. Time now to take a look at the showstopper. And Billy Hamilton of the Cincinnati Reds leads the majors with 23 steals. That's 10 more than anybody else. And as I told you earlier, that's 6 more than the Indians have as a team. He's only been caught twice. And he's a guy who, he's been averaging about 50 or so steals a year for the last 3 seasons.
And it doesn't happen a lot anymore where guys will steal 50 bases in a year, so he adds a lot of excitement.
Andre Knott, you and I and Arch had this conversation recently about the prototypical leadoff hitter. He certainly fits the old prototype, but is he the last of a dying breed?
Yeah, I don't know if he's the last of a dying breed, and I feel safer when I'm at the other end of the ballpark with Tito next to me hitting me with a bat right now. Yes, he may be one of the last of the dying breed, but for Brad Mills and for the team, they talk about the pressure he puts on your defense and how they have to change what they're doing tonight and preparing for him.
There's no doubt that he puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Every time he makes contact, he's going to put pressure on the defense. You have to kind of move the infield to kind of get ready for him. In the outfield, we still have to go with Tennessee charts and how he's been swinging the bat and where to put him. And then we just want to make sure that we get the ball in quick enough. We can't take our time, and other than that, we really don't want to hurry. We just want to be able to go through and make sure we make good throws. And if we do that, we'll keep him where he should be instead of advancing an extra base.
That's Indians bench coach Brad Mills with our Hear Right sounds of the game. Obviously, the best way to keep him from stealing is to keep him off base entirely.
True. I mean, he is hitting 258 right now, but you keep him off base. But he adds another dimension for the rest of his teammates.
Take a quick break. Back with tonight's first pitch right after this. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona tonight, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Jason Kipnis once again will lead it off. Francisco Lindor batting second. Michael Brantley hits third, then it's Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, Yan Gomes, and Josh Tomlin, the pitcher, will bat ninth.
And Scott Feldman is our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. On the year, he's 2-4, making start number 10. 20 walks in his 50 1/3 innings, 38 strikeouts. He is 2-3 in his career against the Indians, and it's been a long time since he beat Cleveland. It was back in 2009 when he was with the Texas Rangers.
Jason Kipnis with a 7-game hitting streak. 12 for 31 during that tear with 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. And the Indians have won 5 out of the 7 games. Swings at the first pitch, pulls it foul.
Well, I'm looking at the center fielder and the left fielder, Hamilton and Duvall. Boy, they have to shade their eyes because of the sun that's setting here. The shade's over most of the field, but for the first couple innings, the 2 guys out in the outfield are going to have to look into a steep sun.
Chops it foul once again, right side. 2 quick strikes on Kipnis. Last year, the Indians swept all 4 games against Cincinnati. All time, the Indians have won 54. Cincinnati has won 45. The 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Let's take a look at the Reds defense, brought to you by W.B. Mason. They are rated 3rd in the league. They've made only 21 errors. They have turned 38 double plays. And it looks like this in the outfield. Duvall in left, Hamilton in center. Schebler is over in right. Suarez is at third. Cozart at short. Peraza at second. Votto at first. Barnhart doing the catching.
Francisco Lindor. He has collected a hit in 7 games in a row. 8 for 29 during his tear. Lifts that high and foul and out of play. Cincinnati's starting pitching is ranked dead last in the National League with an earned run average of .593. Their real problem has been walks and homers. They've issued the 3rd most walks, 101 allowed, and they've given up the most home runs, 44. This is just as a starting rotation.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, because if you walk somebody, if you can get the outs, fine. When you give up home runs, you're in trouble. First 2 go down swinging.
Feldman pulling the string nicely here. He has back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down. Will Little calling the balls and strikes. Clint Fagan at first. The crew chief Jeff Kellogg at second. Tim Timmons is over at third. I think the other thing that can hurt a ball club, in particular a club like Cincinnati, where they're still waiting to get some of their starting pitching back, guys that are on the disabled list, is that they haven't been able to log the innings.
Right.
They've pitched the fewest innings as a starting staff in the National League.
And what you do as a manager, Ryan Price, you have to stick with some of the younger guys maybe a little longer than you normally would, and you get them in trouble because you have to try and save that bullpen. They have 8 bullpen pitchers.
And the bullpen has done a very nice job for Cincinnati so far. One of the reasons why, until recently, they were right there near the top of the standings. They've lost 8 of their last 9 to fall to 20 and 23 overall. But before that, they were right there.
Yeah, but you know, that's what you worry about, that bullpen. If they don't give you innings, they could burn out early in the year.
1 ball, 1 strike as Michael Brantley looks to get something started for the Indians.
So far, it looks like Feldman, when he throws anything hard, I did see a 2-seamer. It's about 89. He tries to pitch inside, but everything is either cutter or something really slow to keep you off, really off speed.
Now the 2-1. The other thing, Rick, to keep in mind here, you mentioned the outfielders and how they are completely bathed in sunshine, at least in left and in center field. I wonder, even though they've got the batter's eye with the black backdrop, could the glare present some difficulty for the hitter early in the game like that?
It could, although the pitcher's in the shadow, so they should be able to pick it up. I wouldn't think it's that tough. We'll have to ask those hitters. Maybe Andre could give him a shout and say, how's the
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases empty, and the pitch from Feldman. Another slow breaking ball, and he strikes out the side to start the game. The Reds are coming to bat against Josh Tomlin when we come back. for the Tribe, and let's take a look at the lineup that he will face for Brian Price and the Cincinnati Reds. Brought to you by Hankook Tires. Billy Hamilton will lead it off, the switch hitter. Zach Cozart is second. Joey Votto leading the team in runs batted in will bat third. Adam Duvall is hitting cleanup. Eugenio Suarez at third base will hit fifth. Scott Schebler, left-handed bat, will hit sixth. And it's Jose Peraza, Tucker Barnhart, and the pitcher Scott Feldman.
And Josh Tomlin is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. And Josh is 2-5. Looking to get a win. He loves to compete here because he gets a chance to hit here. He's 2-2 in his career against Cincinnati. 1-0 last year.
Billy Hamilton, who despite his blazing speed does not bunt very often, still manages to pull in Jose Ramirez at third base.
Yeah, you almost have to take it away from him if you can. But then again, he can slap it. He can slap it by you.
Tomlin's 2-0 pitch. Fouled back out of play. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why he doesn't have many bunt hits or doesn't try that many, because teams are just going to try to crowd him and not let him do it.
Yeah, and unless you're like a drag bunter where you can pull it down the line with you, third baseman can take it away.
Well, you talk about a lost art. Line back up the middle and through. Hamilton able to send that ball just past Tomlin's outstretched glove hand.
Well, and right now this is what's going to put the pressure on the defense. He gets a pitch up in the zone and it's past Tomlin's glove and it gets into center field just hard enough to get out there. So now the game will begin. Tomlin, we know, will throw over there, and we also know that Hamilton will run. He's stolen 23 out of 25. The Reds lead the league in stolen bases at 46, so he has half of them. But you've got a catcher back there that's outstanding at throwing out base runners. So I guess all you can do as a pitcher is give him an opportunity, which we know Tomlin will.
Cozart taking it's a called strike. Stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Fewest steals allowed per 9 innings.
Well, Mulholland, we witnessed him, and he ended up teaching CC in his day.
In the air, playable it looks like for Carlos Santana, and the right fielder has it. One down.
Let's check out the Tribe defense for you, brought to you by Ram. It looks like this: Brantley in left, Chisenhall in center. In the National League Park, yes, Santana is back in right field. Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, and Encarnacion at first. Gomes doing the catching. Remember, Carlos started the year when we went and played Arizona after spring training. When the year started, he was in right field there. And this, I think, is a little easier right field because it's not a very big one.
And it plays small, too.
Yes, it does.
Here's Joey Votto. Dozen homers to go along with 38 runs batted in. Chokes up on the bat.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to strike out. He shoots everything the other way. He waits on the baseball. He's got a very good eye at the plate.
Hamilton takes off in a slow roller to second. Kipnis with the backhand will throw out Votto, and there are 2 down.
That's what you like to see. He was not going to give him a pitch. See, normally hitters, and you would think someone like Votto would give him one pitch to steal. He would rather try and hit with him on second base, but he went after the first pitch and grounded it to Kipnis. So you thank him right there. Didn't give Hamilton an opportunity.
And there are 2 down for Adam Duvall.
You know, when you do have a guy like Hamilton, Matt, if you're a hitter, give him an opportunity to steal a base. That's what he's out there for.
Well, as you pointed out, Joey Votto, as good a hitter as he is and as good an eye as he has,
right?
You would think he would. I'll give you at least one pitch.
You're right. Give him a strike. That's all. Give him a chance. He could end up in scoring position. Now a base hit, you drive in a run, especially early in the game.
Adam Duvall has already given the Reds 9 home runs and 32 driven in. And if memory serves, this is the guy that hit one halfway up the scoreboard in Goodyear.
Yes, he did. Very good power.
Tomlin's 2-0 pitch, hit hard, left field, base hit. Brantley charging hard. They're going to wave Hamilton home. No throw, and the Reds take a 1-0 lead on a 2-out RBI single by Adam Duvall.
Well, you get the 2-out base hit, and he didn't hit it hard, but it was a hanging breaking ball. That's not a good spot for Josh Tomlin, and you know, Michael Brantley wasn't going to throw him out, so you just hold the ball and get it into second base. So the Hamilton gets on, gets himself in a scoring position. The Reds will play from in front tonight.
And brings up Eugenio Suarez. And he takes the first pitch strike. Well, we mentioned how Cincinnati's starting pitching is ranked dead last in the National League with a 5.93 ERA. The Indians' starting pitchers are ranked dead last in the American League. A run better in terms of ERA at 4.98. But the dynamics between the two are radically different. I mean, the Indian starters have still issued the 3rd fewest walk, the 2nd most strikeouts. They've given up the 5th most home runs, though. That really has been their big Achilles heel, because while it sounds not so bad at 5th most, they've given up 40. Houston's #1 with 44, so they're not that far away from being right there at the top. Now the 1-1. Stroke to deep center. Back goes Lonnie Chisenhall into the sunshine, and the inning is over. But Cincinnati picks up a 2-out RBI hit from Adam Duvall. They lead it 1-0 after an inning.
service is back in better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go for just $19.99. Visit MLB TV for the details.
Carlos Santana ready to lead it off here in the second for Cleveland. Indians down a run early. A little bit low. Carlos Santana from this side of the plate has batted .243 as opposed to a .183 from the other side of the dish. Santana has not really had any kind of a home run binge to this point. He's got 4 homers so far, a couple from each side of the plate, but he's one of those guys that we mentioned before, they can come in bunches, and he has punched out looking. I'll tell you what, Scott Feldman has fanned the first 4 that he has faced tonight.
And he's throwing about 90 miles an hour, but he started it at the front hip, and it's watch it run back over the plate. Look at the movement. Holy smokes, that thing took off at the end of it. And he's been cutting the fastball in on him, and that's a great pitch. Santana's jumping back, and you can see the movement. So 4 hitters, 4 strikeouts.
And now Edwin Encarnacion takes a called strike. Storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Edwin Encarnacion, he's starting to find it offensively. In the month of May, he has collected 3 homers, a couple of doubles. He's scored 9. He's driven in 8. But he hasn't had what you would call a hot spell. I suppose if anything, you got to hope that it's been building. But I tell you, at this point, the Indians better figure out a way to make an adjustment, because Scott Feldman is carving them up.
Well, he's pitching backwards, it seems like. You know, he's just showing him something hard at the fastball, but he cuts his fastball. He'll turn it over like a 2-seam fastball. He's got the slow curveball, and that little front hip sinker there to the left-handers is a dynamite pitch.
Jose Ramirez takes the first pitch strike.
Look at 90 miles an hour is probably tops. And then he just he stays out of the middle of the plate. Pounding the strike zone.
He's hitting spots too, moving it in and out.
Yep. Well, we saw this many years ago with Bartolo Colon in Toronto when he struck out the first 6. And then he didn't last long after that. But Feldman, he tried to run it back inside. He's dealing. Got a nice tempo. Got a good feel going right now.
Now the 2-2. Hit in the air to deep center field. Billy Hamilton racing back, and he makes the catch. He just outran it. Middle of the second. Cincinnati 1, Cleveland 0. Cincinnati out to an early 1-0 lead. And Scott Schebler will lead it off. This is another guy that has burst onto the scene for Cincinnati. He has 12 home runs, taking over for Jay Bruce, who was dealt last year. And he has more than filled the bill, I guess you'd have to say. Left-handed bat like Bruce, and like Bruce, he can stroke him deep into the seats. Number 13 for Schebler. Two 2-0 Cincinnati. 7th home run allowed by Josh Tomlin this year.
Well, he threw that right into the swing plane of Schebler, who I want to see if it was a cutter coming in. Yes, sure was, and he left it. They wanted it away. He left it on the plate, and flat cutters go a long way. And that one was. He hit a bomb. That's number 13. Takes over the team lead now.
In the air, right field, Santana running over, running out of room. He dives and slammed into the wall, and now you got to hope he's all right. He went into that sidewall awkwardly. Lonnie Chisenhall, Jason Kipnis, and Encarnacion, they're all running over to check on him. Now Terry Francona and head athletic trainer James Quinlan, they're going to head down. It does not look good. He slammed hard into that wall, and that's your worst fear realized if you're Terry Francona, when you've got a guy playing out there who's not really used to the environment.
Well, he realized you get close, you got to give up sometimes, and he slid a little too late. And what he did, the top half of him hit that wall as his legs went underneath him, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's something in the back. You know, he stopped, and he slid a little too late. He never took his eye off the ball.
Back.
See, that
looked like James Quinlan said to Terry Francona, back.
Yeah, that's you know, when you look at it, his top half hit the wall and his legs may have slid under and hit that cement, and he just couldn't go anywhere. He was late on the slide.
Just kind of got crinkled up.
Yeah, he couldn't. There was nowhere for his top half to go. So after he hit the wall, I think he went back, and it might be his back. We'll see.
Yeah, I thought initially, Rick, when I saw the replay the first time, I thought maybe his knee slammed into the wall underneath the padded part. And I thought maybe that was an issue, but that's a great sign. He quickly pops to his feet.
Oh, he wants his head. He's going to be fine. I think he hit that wall and it shook him up a little bit. You know, that's like running into a middle linebacker. Watch this. Let's see it real speed. He slides late. Boom, there it was. There was no give right there, and it was like getting punched, man. That hurt.
Yeah, almost like if you've ever had the wind knocked out of you. Might have been similar to that. He was moving at a fairly decent rate of speed and then suddenly came to a halt.
He should have gave up a little sooner on that ball to slide. He wasn't going to catch it anyway, but that's what happens when you're not an outfielder and you don't know the ballpark. So that's all new for him, but he seems to be okay. Let's hope so.
In the meantime, Jose Peraza with an 0-1 count, and Cincinnati up 2-0 here in the second inning. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Tried to hold up. I think he went. Yes, he did, says first base ump Clint Fagan. One down. First strikeout for Josh Tomlin. Let's go down to Andre.
You know, Matt, there's been a lot made out about the meetings that Tito Francona and Mickey Callaway had with the pitchers last week. Something that was telling to me is Tito told me today that, you know, the pitchers spoke amongst themselves as well. It wasn't just Tito and Mickey talking. The pitchers talked to themselves about what they expect from each other and in holding each other accountable. I thought that's a big step in telling you what these guys really are about.
Yeah, and you know, Andre, Tito said to me that when they met with him, his message wasn't one of pep talk or, you know, calling anybody out. It was more of pitch with some attitude. Don't forget how good your stuff is. Long run for Lonnie Chisenhall. He's there to grab it. 2 down. And for the most part, he was pleased with how they came out and pitched in Houston against a very good lineup team that was playing as well as anybody in baseball when the Indians went in there for that series.
You have to be pleased the way they pitched in Houston. That was a very good offense. Well, I just think they know they're better than what they were showing. And, you know, it's time they have to step up, and they hold themselves accountable, which is very good.
The pitcher, Scott Feldman, 0 for 14 on the year as a hitter, and takes strike 1. Out of his 14 at-bats, he has struck out a half-dozen times.
You know, as we know, since Tito's been here, he always wants that clubhouse to be held accountable for themselves. He doesn't want to have to patrol it or talk to them and do things. He wants the players to figure it out. I think he just brought them together to help them get it going a little bit.
I think that, Rick, is one of the hardest things for a manager to do nowadays, is to know when it's time to pull everybody together, because you can't have too many meetings or it becomes white noise.
Well, like you said, it wasn't a meeting. It was more of let's change the approach or the thought process. You know, let's let them make the decision on what they should do. To me, that's a great job by the manager.
The 0-2 swung out and missed. Tomlin strikes out his counterpart to end the inning, but Scott Schebler's 13th home run as Cincinnati in front 2-0 after 2. We'll take a look at the big story. Well, Mike Trout, this isn't exactly earth-shattering news, but he's off to a tremendous start. He's second in the American League in batting average. He is second in home runs, second in runs batted in, second in runs scored. So he needs to pick it up a little bit, Archie.
Oh, I think he's got a little time to do that. He's always the big story, isn't he? When you think about
Consistent,
it, he's
man.
probably I mean,
since the day he stepped on the big league field for the first time, he's been one of those guys that everybody wants to watch.
Well, he should. He's the best player in the game. He's the Mickey Mantle of his day.
Lonnie Chisenhall will lead off here in the third for Cleveland. And he takes the first pitch strike. Scott Feldman seems to have figured something out here tonight, because coming into this start, when hitters had 2 strikes on them facing Feldman, 10 of the previous 23 all reached base safely. That's an on-base percentage of .435.
It's hard to believe after watching him through the first 2 innings.
Yeah, they're 0 for 6 with 2 strikes so far tonight.
Yeah, well, and it took a great play to retire Ramirez, but the other 5 went down swinging. 1 went down looking.
That's down on the dirt, and a ball and 2 strikes for Chisenhall. And he chases one down and in, and that's 6 strikeouts out of 7 batters faced.
Man, he's getting him to chase that curveball in the dirt.
Great clip of the game from yesterday. Yan Gomes. Wow, what a month of May. He has batted .385. He has scored 6 runs. He has driven in 9. He has 6 doubles and 2 home runs. And Tito said it's just good to see Gomes back to knowing what pitches he can handle, and when he gets them, he's getting after them.
Yeah. And he has confidence. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, Scott Feldman has made it look easy so far. I'll be curious to see as they flip the lineup over if there are any adjustments that can be made.
What, the second time through?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there will be. I know one thing, he gets the 2 strikes. He likes throwing that little curveball. At least he has the first time around.
That one's right back up the middle and hit Feldman. He flips it from the glove. 2 down.
Well, the 2 balls they put in play, they could very easily be hits. Ramirez, and now this one. Feldman found that ball after he went off his shoe, or it hit him in the spike, and it just deflected, and he goes over to make the play and take Gomes away from a base hit.
Feldman had to wave the training staff back into the dugout. He said, "I'm fine."
Yeah, the way he's throwing right now, get out of here. Let me stay in rhythm, please. I'm fine is right.
Josh Tomlin has been to the plate twice so far this year, 0 for 2. And he looks at a fastball for strike 1. Now it's 0-2. Tomlin trying to slap one in, and it will get down for a base hit. So Josh Tomlin picks up the Indians' first hit of the game with a little slap shot down the right side.
An 0-2 curveball, and he handled it. You know, I had a feeling he was going to get a curveball because Tomlin threw it to him and struck him out. So he wants to come back and do the same thing, but Josh just...
Did you see Feldman talking to himself? As soon as Tomlin swung the bat, you could see him start talking to himself, muttering something that we probably couldn't repeat on the air.
An 0-2 pitch to the pitcher. But we know Tomlin's a good hitter. We've seen him get a couple of knocks in this park before, but it's just surprising how he mows down the first 8 guys, and Tomlin gets up and hits an 0-2 pitch.
Jason Kipnis pushed back off the plate. Well, if that bright backdrop was of any distraction to the Indians hitters early, rest assured it's gone now. The entire field and backdrop now in the shadows. But what's been impressive with Feldman here, Rick, is he's just gone at the hitters, getting ahead early, and then even when he gets ahead, he's not fooling around. It's not like he's letting them back into the at-bat.
Right. No, he continues to.
Right back up the middle.
I'll tell you what.
He got a piece of it, though, and Peraza able to throw out Kipnis to end the inning. Middle of the third. Cincinnati 2, Cleveland nothing. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, Scott Feldman, first time through the order, struck out 6 of the first 7 batters he faced.
Yeah, there's the first 3 on curveballs in inning number 1. Guess what? He ran that two-seamer at the hip over the inside part of the plate, a little cut fastball there, and then got Chisenhall with the curveball. So 4 coming on the curveball. And yeah, he made it really look easy that first time through the lineup.
Billy Hamilton bidding for a second hit. He's got it. Just slapped it the other way and pokes it in.
Well, that's his job. Find a way to get on base, and he did. First pitch went up the middle. Second one go to left field. It's a fastball down and away on the Nissan pitch tracker. You can see it. He challenged him. He hits it, and he got on top of it. Hit a line drive, so he's 2 for 2.
Zach Cozart. Fly to right. His only time up. And takes. Breaking ball for strike.
Cozart missed yesterday. He has some wrist problems. He was going to wait and see today, and then ended up getting put into that lineup, and he's having a nice year so far.
Cozart coming into tonight had played in 36 of 43 games for Cincinnati.
Hamilton over there as a base stealer, he doesn't get his lead early. He's a guy that keeps inching off, inching off, inching off, and he waits for you, and he tries to time you, and he's pretty good at it. You see, if Tomlin likes to throw over before he comes set, he's not off very far.
Still out running in the pitch up and away, 2-1.
Josh Tomlin is a guy on the mound. Not only does he throw over there, he gets rid of the ball quickly and delivers it to his catcher in about 1 second. So if you can get it down there within 2 seconds, and Gomes can certainly do that, you will have a good chance.
Popped up shallow left. Tough play. Lindor with his back to the infield makes the catch, throws back to first, but Hamilton scampers back quickly. Boy, he made a tough play look rather routine.
Well, that's our third infielder we've seen do that on this trip. We saw Kipnis and Ramirez do it in the same game in Houston, and we're going to see Lindor do it right here. He knew he had to get out there and make the play, so they've all done it, and they've all done it very well. Not an easy play for an infielder with your back to the infield.
Joey Votto swung at the first pitch, a pitch that Billy Hamilton was running on in the first inning, and grounded out. Hamilton was just about to take a stride or two away from the bag when Tomlin fired it over.
See, that's what Josh is going to realize. He doesn't take his lead until he comes pretty much set. He'll get maybe a foot or two off and just sort of inch his way out slowly, slowly.
Votto moves back from a pitch that just missed inside.
Almost looked like he tried to get hit by that.
It was a weird reaction.
It was. Yes, it was. It came inside and almost looked like he wanted to jump in the way.
Jose Ramirez well off the line at third base, with Lindor shading Votto up the middle. Bloop toward left. Brantley coming hard, makes the catch, and then cocked his arm and decided to hold on to it as Hamilton quickly scampered back to first base.
Well, the Ohio Cup returns to Progressive Field on May 24th against the Reds, and the 10,000 fans will receive a replica AL champion trophy that is courtesy of KeyBank. You can grab a $13 district ticket or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket. Just go to Indians.com.
Josh Tomlin facing Adam Duvall, who had the 2-out RBI single in the first that plated Billy Hamilton with the game's first run. Snap throw to first, and back safely is Hamilton.
Well, Gomes wanted to keep him honest because he took that step like he almost had Josh timed, and he was just a tad late, so he held up, and that's why Gomes threw behind him.
High pop, center field. In comes Lonnie Chisenhall. Inning over. We've played 3 in Cincinnati. It's the Reds 2 and the Indians nothing. Has given up a couple of runs tonight, one in the first, one in the second, but retires the side in the third without allowing any further damage. And Scott Feldman got Jason Kipnis to end the third on a smash right back to him that hit off of him, carrying right to the second baseman Peraza. So now he's got Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana in the fourth.
Well, you were wanting to look to see what the Indians are going to do the second time through. I'm interested to see what Feldman's going to do, maybe the second time through, if he's going to add anything.
Yanked foul.
Tough to stay back. It's 75-mile-an-hour curveball.
Well, you know, as you pointed out early on, he's not overpowering, but his ability to hit his spots and change his speeds, keep the hitter back and forth.
That 1-1 pitch right there is interesting. It's the cutter in, and I think he shows those left-handers that pitch in, but when he gets to the 2 strikes, remember he has that little front hip sinker. That's what he's going to try and throw when he gets to 2 strikes, but he's going to show him that little cutter in, and they'll think it's the same pitch.
3-1. Lindor with the big swing, comes up empty, full count.
I think stay on this guy, middle of the field, because he has so many off-speed pitches. Elevated heater, and I think Frankie wanted to try and hit one into the river.
Out of play. Payoff pitch. Lays off. It's low, full, and that's ball 4. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard for the first time.
Well, the first time they swung at that pitch, all 3 lefties. This time he was able to take it.
Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And as you take a look at the Cincinnati injuries, pitching and pitching.
Right. There you go. You got Finnegan, a left-handed starter. Bailey, he's been injured for the last couple of years. Desclafani, you need your pitchers.
Boy, they invested a lot of money in Homer Bailey.
Yeah, and they're not getting a return on their investment.
Here's Michael Brantley, who struck out his first time up. And he spins away from ball 1. Brantley with a hit in 6 straight games. Hit high in the air, deep left. Back is Duvall, shy of the warning track. 1 down. Now that's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who was shaken up earlier in the game when he crashed into the sidewall down the right field line. Santana was called out on strikes his first time up. Snap throw, and Lindor back with a dive. Foul back. Scott Feldman was a draft pick of the Texas Rangers when he was 20 years old. Came up with Texas, spent a number of years with the Rangers, and bounced around. Cubs, Orioles. 3 seasons with the Astros. Last year, he started with Houston, ended up with the Blue Jays. And now here in Cincinnati.
Well, one of the only veterans they have with all the injuries. A little change up. You watch his pitches, they move a lot. Good arm speed, but it was the change up.
Throw over, Lindor back standing.
You know, I think some of these young Cincinnati pitchers that really have good arms and they can throw in the 90s, the mid 90s. Watch this guy pitch. He shows you what it's all about. It's not about the velo. It's about the location, cutting it, throwing different pitches, keeping the hitters off balance.
In the dirt, nicely blocked by Barnhart.
You know, it really tries your patience as a hitter, because he never wants to give in.
Calls him out on strikes. Santana can't believe it. Strikeout number 7 for Scott Feldman.
Both times Santana has gone down looking, and there's a pitch that has the plate. It's right there at the bottom of the zone. He didn't get the call that he wanted, but pretty good pitch right there. Too close to take.
A season high in strikeouts for Feldman. Encarnacion looks at a ball down low. Edwin Encarnacion was originally signed by the Texas Rangers when they drafted him in the 9th round back in 2000. But it was just a year later he came to Cincinnati in a trade for Rob Bell that included Ruben Mateo coming with him. Encarnacion made his major league debut with Cincinnati in 05. 7th most on the home run list, but a lot of the folks here that watched him play early in his career, they just never saw him really emerge as that real power hitter that he eventually became.
Well, he was playing third base and he was struggling. He was throwing balls over the first base into the seats and hurting fans, and never really had a position. And it's not till he went to Toronto and really took off and developed and felt like you know, he belonged.
Well, the really weird thing too, and somebody pointed this out to me earlier today, and I'd forgotten about this. He went to Toronto, and it's not like he became an overnight sensation. In fact, while he was with the Blue Jays, at one point they dumped him, and Oakland picked him off waivers and then let him go again, and he signed back with Toronto as a free agent. Grounded foul. Now imagine that.
Yeah, that's right. They think overnight sensation. It doesn't work that way most times.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Lindor at first. He's off, and the pitch is strike 3 call. Scott Feldman has struck out 8 in 4 one-hit shutout innings. PMC. Now and Jensen will look back at the past week of action. It's tomorrow night following Indians Live right here on Sports Time Ohio and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now there's an interesting look in the Lindor jersey.
That green?
Looks like Army green, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Eugenio Suarez to lead off for Cincinnati here in the 4th. He flied to center his only time up. Josh Tomlin delivers and he swings and misses 0-2. Struck him out looking. That's number 3 for Tomlin. 1 down here in the 4th.
He didn't mess around. A couple of curveballs in this at-bat. You can see a dandy right there. 0-2. He caught him looking.
Scott Schebler was mired in an 0-for-13 slump. Since he broke out of that, he has 6 hits and 10 at-bats, including that home run in the 2nd inning. This one's deep to left, but Brantley has room. A couple of strides shy of the wall.
Well, it'll be a Sugardale Dollar Dog Night at Progressive Field. It'll be May 26th. The Indians will host the Kansas City Royals, and from 7, fans can enjoy $2 domestic cans out in the district. Stay after the game. There will be a Star Wars tribute themed fireworks display. Just go to Indians.com.
Jose Peraza struck out in the 2nd inning. Josh Tomlin's first strikeout in the ball game. And he sends a lazy fly ball to center. I mean, Josh Tomlin.
Yep. Nice quick inning.
Just blew through this inning. 6 straight retired by the Indians right-hander. But after 4, it's Cincinnati 2, Cleveland 0. Brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care online. Download it now for free. Beautiful shot from across the Ohio River. Riverfront Arena right next door to Great American Ballpark. Jose Ramirez flied to deep center his first time up. One of the few hard hit balls. Well, let's be honest. One of the few balls hit today.
Yeah, right.
8 strikeouts for Feldman in 4 innings. He only hit for the Tribe a 2-out single to shallow right by Josh Tomlin,
the pitcher.
Yeah, on the 2-strike pitch. Nice little short approach. Popped it down the line. He's walked 1, and that's been it. There's a liner to right. That'll get down. That's going to head to the corner. And Ramirez is going to have himself at least a leadoff double. And Schebler takes it out. So for the 2nd inning in a row, the Indians get their leadoff man aboard.
Well, he hasn't had a problem trying to figure out Scott Feldman. The rest of the lineup has. He got a pitch down in the zone and pulled it. Went to center field the first time up. He pulls this one. Good for a double. His 8th double on the year. This is where you want to cash in and cash in early, because remember, Tomlin now is the 3rd hitter. You got Chisenhall, Gomes, and then Josh. You'd like to get him over and in before you get there.
Lonnie rolls over on a bouncer to second. So Ramirez to 3rd, but with 1 out. Yan Gomes coming up, but he knows he's got Josh Tomlin more than likely behind him in the on-deck circle.
Oh yeah, he'll be there, no question. He did get him over, but with the, as I said, he can now pitch Gomes a little bit tougher, knowing that you have Tomlin on deck. And this is where in the National League, as a number 8 hitter, you really have to be patient, because pitchers will test your patience in situations like this.
Foul right back to even the count of 1-1.
You have to be disciplined enough to look for that one pitcher you're looking for, and don't miss it.
And this is where Gomes has been so much better this year, at recognizing his pitch and not going after the pitcher's pitch.
He did. He could have had a base hit his first at bat. It went off Feldman's foot, but he was able to pounce on it and throw him out. There he is, trying to get him to chase out of the zone. That's exactly what he's looking for. I want to throw you a pitch that you'll swing at, and you're not going to put in play to get that runner in from 3rd.
High fly ball, shallow right though. Schebler.
I don't think so.
Makes the catch. Ramirez can't get home from there. 2 down. Well, the first hit of the game from the Tribe came back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs on a 2-strike pitch.
Josh got himself a breaking ball, able to keep it fair. He didn't swing at the first 2 pitches, so he was down in the count 0-2.
Tomlin trailing his buddy CC Sabathia and James Shields among active pitchers with hits in the American League.
Well, he's seen 4 pitches. They've all been strikes.
A little bit off the plate. 1-1. Tomlin takes great pride in going up to the plate with a bat. He's not up there like a lot of pitchers who truly appear like they'd rather be anywhere but in the batter's box.
Well, that's not true if you know Josh Tomlin. He loves to hit. He loves to play the game.
Just did shave the outside corner, and Feldman, he's pitching him tough here.
Well,
not enough. No get me over pitches.
When you haven't hit and you don't hit like these guys, that's a tough pitch to try and put in play. Now that he has 2 strikes, he may get him to chase a pitch out of the zone, but you almost have to. You want to put it in play. You don't know the strike zone that well.
Well, how about that? Tomlin has worked the count full. No, Josh is thinking like a pitcher. He knows Feldman is going to challenge him here because he'd rather challenge him than have to face Jason Kipnis. Chops it up the middle. Cut off by Cozart. Inning over. Leadoff double does no damage. Halfway through, Cincinnati on top 2-0. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. All red so far. 2-out RBI single by Adam Duvall in the first, plating Billy Hamilton. And then in the second, Scott Schebler with a leadoff homer to right. That's been it. Tomlin has only allowed 1 single since that home run. He has retired 6 in a row and 9 out of the last 10 since that homer. But Scott Feldman has allowed only 2 hits and has struck out 8 in 5 shutout innings of work. In fact, the way Feldman started this game is still a little bit of a head scratcher. He struck out 6 out of the first 7 batters that he faced, and that's not really his MO.
No, it is not. Nothing overpowering. I can see where he keeps you off stride. You may put him in play, but not 6 out of 7 strikeouts.
Tucker Barnhart, the 8th batter in the lineup to lead off here in the 5th. And the Cincinnati catcher takes outside ball 1. He flied to deep center his first time up. Barnhart, then the pitcher Feldman. Look out. Just past the Reds dugout.
Woo. Man in blue just got out of the way. Nice duck. There's not a whole lot of time to get out of the way.
And he was, I didn't even realize he was paying attention because he was in the back row, kind of walking along that wall.
Yeah. When the action's going, you just never know. You know, most of the screens, we saw the screen in Houston, they didn't go all the way around the dugouts.
Yeah, they went all the way down.
Which was a nice thing. Here, they might be as short as I've seen anywhere.
Uh-oh, that's hit well in the gap. Long run for Santana. He won't get it. He's going to one-hop the wall. Lonnie's there to grab it. Into second with a leadoff double is Tucker Barnhart. That's something that Brian Price has been talking about. Everyone makes mention of the Cincinnati home runs, and this ballpark has yielded its fair share. But he said, look, we're not sitting around talking about launch angle. He said the thing I like is that, you know, we're getting extra base hits.
Right.
You know, the doubles.
Well, they have 82 doubles on the season. They've got 16 triples.
Yeah, I was
They've
looking
got
at all the triples.
56 homers. And this isn't a triples ballpark. So they got to be getting most of them on the road, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Feldman, the pitcher, squaring to bunt, gets it down right to Tomlin. He'll go to third, and that is out number one. And Ramirez tried to throw it back to first and almost pulled off a double play.
Why not? You've got the pitcher running. You know, with Tomlin, he fields his position beautifully. That ball was just bunted too hard and right out in front, and you knew Josh was going to go to third base. But watch Ramirez in return as Kipnis goes to first. He says, I tag him, and I'm going to go to first base. I want to get the pitcher for a double play. Well, it's a failed sacrifice. So now Feldman's got to stay out there on the bases.
If he didn't have to wait for Barnhart to get to third base, he might have been able to turn that.
Yeah, that's true.
Billy Hamilton, a perfect 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a run scored. In the air.
That's the way to do it.
Lindor calls for it. Makes the catch, 2 away. That's going to bring up Zach Cozart, who is 0 for 2. Cozart, 4th in the National League in batting average. You mentioned the triples. He has 4 of them.
Yeah,
I mean, tied for 2nd in the league.
I was looking at those guys. They're triples, and they do the same thing with the stolen bases led by Hamilton. You know, he has half of them.
Missed outside. Tomlin falling behind for one of the few times tonight. 2-0. And he pops him up. Edwin Encarnacion comes in and makes the grab to end the inning. 5 complete. It's still 2-0 Cincinnati. Has been the story of the game for Cincinnati. The veteran right-hander came out baffling the Indians with a slow hook, and every once in a while run that little two-seamer up there. But he fanned 6 out of the first 7. He has struck out 8 in 5 2-hit shutout innings.
Season high for Feldman with 8. Has allowed only 2 hits, has walked 1. He's made it look really easy. Indians in the last 2 innings had opportunities. They had their leadoff man aboard but couldn't cash it in. So now we'll try for the 3rd time going through and see what the adjustment is. They were 1 for 8, or excuse me, 1 for 9 the first time through. They were 1 for 8 the second time through.
Jason Kipnis 0 for 2. When we decided we were going to talk about Jason Kipnis at the top of our telecast tonight, I knew we were going to talk about the fact that he hit in every game since moving into that leadoff position. So I wanted to go back and check, what his longest hit streak has been in his career. And I'd forgotten that he had a 20-game streak 2 years ago. And I thought, I wonder if he was batting leadoff in 2015. I went back, sure enough, he was in that leadoff spot. So it definitely agrees with him.
Yes, it does. It's a comfort when you can hit, and he should be either 1 or 2 in the lineup on any club he would play on, because it's a nice lineup for him to fit into. I like him better up in the 1-2 slot than I do in the 6 spot.
He golfs one high in the air, deep center. Back is Hamilton. He's out of room. It's out of here. He tried to leap up and steal it, but he could not get to it. And Jason Kipnis extends that hitting streak with his 4th home run of the year. And for Kip, that's 8 straight now with a home run. And all 4 of his homers this year have come during this hit streak.
Well, listen, he's been taken for 2 home runs as well, but this ball down in the zone and he golfs it. That's his bread and butter down there. He can elevate it. He lifts it. A nice catch by a fan. You see Hamilton tried to climb the wall, but he hit it out of his reach. Good for Kip. They're on the board with 1 swing.
Francisco Lindor takes high, ball 1. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's kind of crazy how Kip has had 2 home runs almost to the exact same spot at Progressive Field, and both of them robbed.
Yes, he has.
One was Kevin Kiermaier. And who got the other one?
Josh Reddick, when he was filling in with Houston and playing center field. Yeah, he was taken for 2 homers. So you're going to add that. We're going to add it for him at the end of the season.
He's got 4 home runs plus 2 with an asterisk. 1-1. Down and in. The appeal he did not go, says Tim Timmons. You want to talk about pound on the strike zone? 84 pitches for Feldman. 54 of those have been strikes.
Bingo. Nice little ratio for Feldman.
Base hit the other way for Lindor. That's going to get down. Duvall trying to cut it off. Can't do it. Lindor into second base with a double.
Well, a nice approach there by Francisco, taking him the other way. So back-to-back hits, third time through. They are 2 for 2. See, they're sitting away there, and that cutter came inside. They didn't want that pitch there. You see where Bernhardt had to reach back across the plate. And Frankie did a nice job of just staying on it, going the other way. So now, again, this is just like your leadoff man being aboard with nobody out after the solo home run. So the third straight inning, their leadoff man has been on, and they take advantage of it.
Well, here's a really strange statistical, let's call it an anomaly. Michael Brantley somehow only has 1 RBI
in a long time
in the month of May.
Yeah, I know that.
0 for 2 so far here tonight.
Well, and Frankie Lindor hasn't had a lot either, because I remember in April when these guys got off to pretty good starts, they had 17 apiece.
Yeah, Lindor has 4 RBI in the month of May.
Yeah.
But hopefully Brantley can turn that around right here. Two-0 pitch. Man, that's outside the patience of Brantley.
Well, that's what you're looking to see. And right now he's nibbling a little bit because they have a couple of hits in a row, and he's trying to be a little too fine, where before he was just aggressively throwing them on the edges.
And he walked him on 4 straight. And I wonder if Brian Price will start to scramble the bullpen. Well, there goes the phone call.
Well, you watch the sequence here, and you're seeing where he's just nibbling. He doesn't want to throw Brantley a strike. That last one wasn't too shabby, but it was called the ball. So he took a 4-pitch walk. They're going to slow things down. They'll get that bullpen up, getting loose.
Mac Jenkins going to go out and give Feldman a breather.
But he has had his way with Santana and Encarnacion. 4 at-bats, 4 strikeouts.
Now Cincinnati's going with an 8-man bullpen currently,
right.
But just like Houston, at least when that series started, 8-man bullpen, but only 1 lefty, and he's up.
The first man up. Get the left-hander up.
That's Wandy Peralta.
He throws very hard. Yeah.
Now there's Carlos Santana. Tough night. Smashed into the wall down the right field line that shook him up a little bit. And at the plate, he has been called out on strikes both times. And a double play bouncer. There's 1 and 2. Tying run to third. Edwin Encarnacion coming up. We go down to Andre.
Well, we all know that Carlos Santana's playing right field. It wasn't an easy call for Terry Francona. He was going to give Edwin the night off. We talked to Edwin, and Edwin says, I want to play. I want in the lineup. I like where I'm at swinging the bat right now. Tito has no problem with that, so he said he would go with Santana in right field and play it out and let Edwin play first. And he said he'll figure it out tomorrow if he'll do the same thing, but he was happy Edwin wanted in the lineup and didn't want out.
He'll be a lot happier and feel a lot better about that if Encarnacion can deliver the 2-out hit right here. He is not happy with home plate umpire Will Little, though. He wasn't happy when Little punched him out to end the 4th inning. And he doesn't like that call, and they are going at it a little bit. Swung out and missed. 0-2.
Yeah, Feldman has owned Santana and now Encarnacion. As I mentioned. The big swingers off this guy can be tough.
There's a high drive, deep left. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball. He stroked that baby a long way.
Well, it was down and into his wheelhouse.
Look at the catcher, Barnhart. He thought it was gone.
Well, he did, but he didn't realize he got out in front of it and it was hooking. And it was hit a mile, but it's only a foul ball. They may want to take a look at it.
Well, I'm still trying.
That's what they're waiting on. Then
Terry
they said,
says
no,
no
you wouldn't
thanks.
have been able to tell. It was way over the foul pole.
That thing was seriously hammered. So the 0-2, Barnhart set up in the other batter's box. He didn't want that anywhere near the plate.
Yeah, if you make a mistake, it will not be on the plate. And you got to think sometimes that's hard as a pitcher when you see that guy all the way over there.
Well, this is a ballpark where right-handed hitters can shoot it the other way and have it fly out of here equally as well.
Eddie's not trying to go that way. I'm sorry. He's trying to pull. He gave him a little different arm angle on that breaking ball. He's trying everything.
Tying run at third base here in the 6th. And the 2-2. Popped him up, but foul and out of play.
That's my point. You said to right field. That would have been the pitch to try and take him that way, that breaking ball down and away. But he tried to pull that ball, and he was lucky it got out of play.
Barnhart goes out. Indians down a run.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the guy he wants to get. You know, you can say, hey, first base, but Ramirez is giving him problems with his swing and his approach. He's hit a bullet to center field. It was caught by a beautiful play by Hamilton, and then he doubled down the right field line. This is the man he wants right here.
But he's pitched him very carefully after he almost hit one 700 feet down the left field line. The 2-2 again. Got him looking. The hat trick for Encarnacion. Kipnis gets the Indians on the board. Reds lead it 2-1, middle of the 6th. kept the tying run at third base and keeps Cincinnati in front. As we roll to the bottom of the 6th, Joey Votto to lead it off. He is 0 for 2 on the night. And a foul right back. Josh Tomlin allowed a run on the first, 1 in the second. Nothing since then.
That was just Tomlin's 50th pitch in this game.
Ground and foul. Tomlin has retired 12 of the last 14 hitters. Pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Well, he can get on base with the best of them. Not only by average, he'll walk.
Wow, what was wrong with that pitch? Are you kidding me? Look at Tomlin. He can bite his lip.
Well, it's a backdoor cutter on the outside part of the plate. And let's see. Well, you see Gomes tried to pull it in a little. It was close.
And he booms one to deep center. Lonnie is back, can't get it. Sure enough, you give the guy an extra strike, and he ends up with a double.
Well, they did the same thing last inning. They opened it up with a double, and Josh was able to pitch around it. See if he can do the same thing here. 5th hit for the Reds, and he just went down, and it was like a golf ball, man. Hit a bullet over the head of Chisenhall to straightaway center field. That's his 11th double.
Adam Duvall, 2-out RBI single in the first, flied out to end the third. Little high, 1-1.
Duvall got Cincinnati on the board in the first with a 2-out base hit, scoring Hamilton.
Tomlin throws it by him. A ball and 2 strikes. 87 miles an hour, but just a little movement to it. It's subtle.
But that's the way you have to keep hitters honest. If you don't, you elevated it enough. If not, you got to pitch inside too to utilize that fastball.
There's the curve, but it dips low, and they count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, that's the one you want to try and get a swing and miss at. But he didn't bite. Changed the eye level after that high fastball with the curveball.
42 of 58 pitches have been strikes for Josh Tomlin. Wow. I mean, we're used to him throwing a lot of strikes, but he's taking it up a notch here tonight. Swung on and missed. He went up the ladder and struck him out.
Came back.
4th strikeout for Tomlin.
Yeah, came back with another high fastball and granted inside on him. So he got him to swing and strike 2 that way and elevated it, and there you go. Nice. The fastball by him, he got him to chase it. So boom, he goes eye level. He changed it, but you can see how Tomlin works it. You have a 9-pitch, a 6-pitch, 10-pitch. You know, that's how you stay deeper in games.
And Eugenio Suarez 0 for 2 on the night, has flat out struck out. Out of play. It's our first look this year at Cincinnati. We obviously saw quite a bit of them in Goodyear, but that has no bearing on approach. But what I've noticed, Rick, is, and I don't know if this is just because it's Josh Tomlin and they know he throws a lot of strikes, but their approach tonight has been very aggressive early in the count.
A lot of teams are, and I don't blame them for that. You've got to get in there and make them, and Josh is very good at adjusting on the fly. Yeah, this is like a spring training game moved back east, for the next 4 days, because, although what we play about 3 or 4 times in spring this year, not as many as we normally do. But yeah, you share the complex, you're going to get a chance to see this team a lot. But as a hitter, I would be more aggressive off Tomlin.
Short stroke, right field. Santana dives and makes the great catch. And all he has to do is throw back to second base.
Go.
It'll be an inning-ending double play.
Votto didn't know how many outs there were.
A terrific play by Carlos Santana, who has definitely taken his lumps here tonight, but this one was money in the bank. To you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the stylish 2017 Kia Optima. Well, the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for the first time tonight. Wandy Peralta, left-hander, coming on for Cincinnati. Peralta making his 19th appearance of the year. 2 wins, no losses, an ERA of .306. He's walked 6 and struck out 25 in 17 2/3 innings. But he's only given up a .177 opponent batting average. He's got Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Yan Gomes here in the 7th. So here we go, Rick. It's a nitty-gritty time. It's battle of the bullpens. I mentioned before, Cincinnati starters have been dreadful this year, but Scott Feldman was outstanding tonight. Their bullpen has been their bedrock. It's been very good up to this point.
And this guy's been throwing very well coming out of that bullpen. The left-hander, and the only one they have in that pen. So the Indians down to their last 9 outs.
but only down a run thanks to the homer by Kipnis. And Jose Ramirez doubled his last time up, but now batting right-handed for the first time.
You can see very good fastball, live arm, 96 miles an hour fastball for Peralta.
Jose has batted .268 this year against lefties.
There's the slider.
Chopped it onto the ground, and Peraza will throw him out. T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball Break. You get a look at these two bullpens. The Indians have the best in the bigs statistically with an ERA of 1.98. The Reds are third best in the National League, 8th overall.
Yeah, you can see the difference in innings pitched, 176 to 132. So over 40 more innings for that Reds bullpen.
Lonnie Chisenhall has struck out, grounded out. Not many at bats this year against the lefties, but he has hit .333 when he hasn't had opportunities.
Well, we haven't faced a lot of lefties. This is the only left-hander we're going to face for a while. Went through Houston not seeing anything, so that is always nice.
Oh man, that was a good fastball at 97 miles an hour, and that was up just below the letters. And the 2-2, slow breaking ball, pulls it foul. It's one of those off-speed pitches where Peralta is fortunate that it was in enough that Chisenhall could only pull it foul.
How do you throw it after you just throw a fastball right by him, man? I'm saying stay with the same pitch. He's not going to hit it up there. Pitchers sometimes amaze me.
They slowed it down that time and had Lonnie out in front. 10th strikeout for Cincinnati pitching here tonight. Baseball night in Ohio tomorrow when this 2-game series in Cincinnati comes to a close. Indians Live with Alan Jensen starts our coverage at 6:30. First pitch at 7. It also streams on Fox Sports Go. 2 down for Yan Gomes, who is 0 for 2 here tonight. Fastball strike. Center, Hamilton is there, and the inning is over. Stretch time in Cincinnati, 2-1 Reds.
Access to Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards code is Roberto. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Bottom of the 7th inning here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. 71 degrees at game time. Just really perfect conditions.
Yeah, it
sometimes
sure is.
we come here in the middle of the summer and it can be close, as they say.
Well, we got a good ball game going tonight. 2-1 Reds.
Scott Schebler providing the margin right now with his 13th home run of the year back in the 2nd inning. When they traded Jay Bruce to the Mets last year, Cincinnati, they called up Scott Schebler on August the 2nd. And since he has become their everyday right fielder in 55 games, he's hit .290. That's now there's a high pop up. Kipnis under it. And he makes the catch. 1 down. Well, as promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Josh Tomlin getting the start tonight and
pounding the strike zone in his own right.
Yeah.
You know, he's done a great job. 4 strikeouts. What's he do? He gets the Tribe's first hit on an 0-2 pitch, fields his position, gets the lead runner going to third base, gets a jam shot. He's really had a good game. He's been very aggressive. He's pitched outstanding tonight, and it'll be his last inning because he's leading off. And I'm sure they'll pinch hit for him.
slow hook, and
you know he's into the 7th inning. He's thrown 67 pitches. How about that? It's about 10 pitches an inning.
There's a strike. Tomlin has retired 15 of the last 18 hitters. Down in the dirt.
Most he's thrown in any inning, 14 pitch inning, the most.
Popped up. Gomes back to the screen. No, not enough room to get to it. .71 pitches and 52 have been strikes. Tucker Barnhart waiting on deck. And a line drive single to center.
Well, that time he's going to take it right back up the middle. That ball was away, but you can see he was thinking that way just by the spin of the baseball. He stayed on him. He gets the base hit. Only the 7th hit allowed.
Switch hitter, or the switch hitter and a pinch hitter moving to the on deck circle. Boone Logan is up in the Indians bullpen along with Dan Otero. Strike call to Tucker Barnhart. Peraza he's no slouch. He has 9 steals in 11 attempts. And so Tomlin will keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to try it too, with 1 out. If they wanted to try and.
There he goes. And a line drive base hit.
Boy, they did that to perfection. The old hit and run.
1st and 3rd with 1 out here in the 7th.
You know, it doesn't matter what you do as a base stealer. You didn't have to get a great jump. It was a hit and run. You could just tell the way they did it. They executed it beautifully because Barnhart's got to put the ball in play. And it was right over the head of Lindor. He tried a decoy act, but no, you peek back as the base runner. Peraza saw it. So now they are in business. Runners at the corners, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. They still have the double play in order, but you're going to get a left-handed batter. You see Logan, he's up, and look at Jason Bray looking to see if Tito's going to make a trip or not. Otero's ready.
Arizmendi Alcantara will pinch hit. Infield will be looking to try and turn a double play.
Well, and they're really in, boy, just about the baseline. If it's a one-hopper, they will come home. If it's hit directly, and if they can turn it, they'll turn too. But if it's hit a little slower, they may try and come home.
Yeah. Time call. This guy's had a heck of a year in the pinch hit role. Assuming most of those opportunities have come leading off an inning, because he's got 5 hits but only 1 RBI.
Yeah, pinch hitters. Yeah, in the National League, you pinch hit for your pitcher like he's doing now. It just happens that there's 1st and 3rd. But you know what we say about pinch hitters, you get off to a good start, sometimes you could have a good year doing it that way because you get off with a lot of confidence.
He's going to drag bunt.
Whoa, well done.
And oh my.
Kipnis was not there. He was late getting the 1st.
Run score, 2nd and 3rd. Still only 1 out. 3-1 Cincinnati.
That's got to be a base hit, and they fooled Kipnis because he got there late. Tomlin just picked it up and went to throw to first base, and he was slow getting over there. This is really a heads-up play by Cincinnati. They steal a run here on the hit and run. Now look where Kipnis is. He was no. He was 2 steps late, and the ball's thrown into right field. So Tomlin will get the error, and Josh is going to be upset. You know what? Look at, he's upset. He knew it. As soon as he just assumed Kipnis would be there.
Well, if you saw Jason's initial reaction was to break in, and then when he realized I got to get to first base, he was just a step behind. And Kipnis unable to get to the ball once Tomlin let it fly.
Yeah,
so a double switch coming here. Bradley Zimmer's going to come into the ball game and go to center field. Boone Logan will be coming on to pitch. It's now 3-1 Cincinnati with 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the 7th. but the last hit should have been an out.
Well, it's a safety squeeze, and you see where Kipnis he held his ground too long. And Tomlin thinking, all right, someone's going to be there. He just wanted to get the out at first base, but Kipnis was late getting there, so he throws it to right field. That's where the error comes in. But Alcantara laid down a beautiful bunt. Peraza held the ground, and they all move up. It's second and third now with one out, but it's 3-1 Cincinnati.
Billy Hamilton, the batter, as we told you, Zimmer is now in the game in center field.
Again, don't be surprised to see that safety squeeze again in this situation. Encarnacion's in front of the bag.
Swing and a miss, strike one. So Zimmer will be leading off in the 8th inning, and the pitcher goes into the 7th spot in the order. But right now, imperative to try to keep it at 2 runs, but tough spot. Ripped, hit the runner, foul ground, foul ball.
Yeah, it was. He was in foul territory. That's
where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You go down in foul territory, you come back in fair once the ball crosses the plate. But his foot's on the line. Oh, he got it off. His foot was in fair territory, but it hit him in foul. There it is. The ump had a good shot because he was going to get drilled.
Boy, it looked like he got him right on the knee, too.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Figures it's a catcher that gets hit.
Yeah. His back foot was started in fair territory until he had to move it and jump.
That was very close to being a quick out for the Indians. Instead of 1-2 count on Billy Hamilton. In the dirt. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out. 2 down. Boone Logan doing a number on Billy Hamilton. And it looks like that's going to be it. 1 batter, 1 out. That'll be it for Boone Logan.
Well, he came on and did his job tonight. 1 hitter. That's fine. Nice job. He got the strikeout he was looking for. Runners stay where they were at, and Tito wants the right-hander.
Dan Otero coming on when we come back.
Jose Ramirez bobblehead, courtesy of Sugardale. That'll take place Saturday, May 27th. The Indians will host the Kansas City Royals. The Indians will also unveil the Frank Robinson statue before the ball game, and fans can enjoy $2 domestic cans out in the district. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Dan Otero coming on. 16th appearance this year. Zach Cozart, the batter, 0 for 3 on the night. Right back up the middle, and the Reds are going to get at least one, and they will get two. A 3-run seventh, and they have blown it open now, leading it 5-1. Cozart didn't waste any time.
Well, no, you know, Otero's a guy, he pitches to contact. He throws in that sinker in, but he gets enough of it and places it right up the middle. So those 2 runs are going to be charged to Josh Tomlin. So he gives up all 5 runs.
Yeah, it's the shame of it is he pitched so much better than this final line.
Yeah, he sure has.
Will look like. Joey Votto, 1 out of 3. That is, though, now 10 hits for Cincinnati. You're looking around and thinking, how the heck did they get the 10 hits so fast? Well, 4 of them coming bunched together here in the inning. Play. 2-2. Missed inside, a full count. Runner goes. Strike 3 call. Inning over. But unfortunately for the Tribe, Cincinnati strikes for 3 and lead it 5-1. Authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. New pitcher for Cincinnati is right-hander Michael Lorenzen, making his 19th appearance of the year. 2 wins, no losses, ERA .347. In 23 1/3, he has walked 8, struck out 21. The Indians have some work to do now. Trailing by 4. Bradley Zimmer, Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor due up. Little high, ball 1. Broke his bat. Left field. Dying. It's down for a hit. Duvall cuts it off and holds Zimmer to a long leadoff single.
Well, there you go. There's your start to an inning.
Let's go down to Andre.
Prior to the game tonight, guys, Tito Francona made it quite simple. He said we have to score runs against this Reds team. He says with the depth in their lineup and the way they hit from guy to guy and the way they hit in the last series, if we don't score 4 or 5 runs, we're going to be in trouble. Well, you're in the top of the 8th. They have 5 runs. They have 1. That's exactly what Tito said, that they were going to have to score to win in these games.
Yeah. They scored 22 runs over the weekend against Colorado and lost 2 out of 3. Rockies scored 26 runs. And it's not that you can say, well, we've got to score 8 runs a game to beat these guys, but sometimes you're going to have to put the big crooked numbers up there.
Yeah, when you come into their ballpark right here, you figure you're going to have to score at least 5, 4 or 5.
Kipnis shoots it out of play. Want to send along happy birthday wishes to Sophia Monaco in Concord Township, celebrating her 17th birthday tonight.
Happy birthday.
Jason Kipnis accounting for the Indians' only run tonight. That was in the 6th inning when he led off with a home run, his 4th. It was a high fly ball, but not deep enough. Schebler makes the catch. Don't forget to come on down to the ballpark and check out the district. And a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio includes your first drink. So grab your friends and catch the game from the drink rails on left or on right. It's a great spot. We'll see you down at the ballpark on this next homestand, in which the Indians will have 3 teams coming in, starting with Cincinnati for a pair. And we'll wrap up with 4 against Oakland, who's in the middle. Kansas
City is.
So
yes.
a 9-game homestand coming up. Francisco Lindor takes a strike. He has struck out, walked, and he has doubled.
Yeah, the next time we go on the road, it'll be June. Because Oakland's in, it'll be June 1st when we end that series back in Cleveland. Home for Memorial Day.
Lorenzen, he's got an arm. He can rush it up there. We've seen him in the mid to upper 90s. Lindor with a liner toward right and a catch and a throw back. Safe is the call. Just barely getting back in time was Bradley Zimmer.
Well, that was a break for Zimmer. Where you going? You're down 4. He threw it on the run and he didn't really make an accurate throw, or he was a dead duck at first. Votto goes off the bag to come back, and you can see that foot gets there, and Votto really never touched it, so it was a good call. And that saves it for Zimmer. There's nowhere to go, as Andy, I'm sure, told him. Look, you can't make it.
Not when you're down 4.
No,
especially.
sir, down 4. Can't run yourself off the bases.
Now here's Michael Brantley, 0 for 2 on the night. And a foul back. With 2 down and Brantley at first, and the Indians trailing by 4, they elect to put Votto behind Zimmer, try to take away the hole on the right side with Brantley at the plate, and he shoots it the other way, and Zimmer stops at second. So 2 on, 2 out, and Carlos Santana coming up.
Brantley just going the other way on it. They wanted it inside, and it just sort of leaked over the middle of the plate. Takes it the other way, so you've got a pair of runners on now. And this has been the tough part of the lineup. Both Santana and Encarnacion has struggled. And out he comes. The pitching coach wants to talk to Lorenzen.
Mac Jenkins will basically stall for time as the closer is up in the Cincinnati bullpen, Raisel Iglesias, and I don't know that.
There's Teddy Power out there. He's talking to him. He's saying, let's go, start throwing. They're out there chirping, let's go. He wants him to, yeah, here comes the umpire to bust it up. He's staying out there as long as he can.
I think the bottom line is, should Santana extend the inning,
right,
they go to the closer.
I think they want him ready for Encarnacion, yes.
Here's Santana now taking outside ball 1. Right back up the middle. The pitcher knocked it right to the fielder, and the inning is over. And Cozart on the other side of the bag with the shift on, and it deflected right to him. So the Indians strand a pair, and we go to the bottom of the 8th, 5-1 Reds. Indians pitcher to work in tonight's ball game. As he gets loose, we go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, we've watched Sean Armstrong have become a better pitcher over the last year and pretty much stick with the bullpen with the Indians. Well, he's also doing something else in his spare time. He's trying to complete his 4-year degree from Eastern Carolina. His fiance just graduated, and he said that spurred him along. So he's taking online classes, guys, as we go along throughout the season. He told me he wants to be the first one among his mom, dad, brother, and sister to be the first to graduate from a 4-year college. He's well on his way. He said he was close to it before he was drafted by the Indians. He wants to finish it off because he told his parents and family that that was something that he would do. He completed 4 classes last fall. He has an easier schedule right now. Hopefully within the next 12 months or so, he should be able to say he's a graduate as well as a major league pitcher.
Very good for him.
He's on to face Adam Duvall here in the bottom of the 8th. Duvall 1 for 3 with an RBI single that came back in the first. That started the scoring. It was a 2-out RBI hit. It was 1-0 Cincinnati, and then Scott Schebler led off the second with a solo homer. It was 2-0, and it stayed that way until Jason Kipnis hit a home run in the 6th, cut the gap to 2-1. And then with 1 out, 3 straight hits, the last of which was a bunt that just kind of went awry, and Cincinnati ended up scoring 3 in the inning.
Well, they really manufactured that inning, because after the first leadoff hit was no harm done. He put a nice job. They hit and ran, and it was successful, and the safety squeeze, and then the error.
A towering pop to right field. Santana's back there. 1 away. All right, recapping our storylines brought to you by Mazda. Edwin Encarnacion, a rough night. 0 for 3 at the plate, striking out all 3 times. And keeping the Reds in the yard, certainly a focus. Only 1 home run allowed. But Cincinnati has shut down the Indians, holding them to 1 run on just a half dozen hits tonight. Eugenio Suarez, a little squiver toward first base. Sean Armstrong there to make the play. 2 down. It's going to bring up Scott Schebler, 1 out of 3 on the night with a home run. The announced attendance here tonight, 26,794. And a lazy pop to left. In comes Michael Brantley. Reds go 1-2-3. We go to the 9th, 5-1 Cincinnati. Presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jensen are on location. Brought the show on the road. I feel bad for Jensen's mom, though. She's got to
put up with them.
Yeah, she's got to house them, feed them.
She's got to, she's got to make them pay a couple of days' rent. Meal money.
I hope so. Hope mom's getting the per diem. Raisel Iglesias. Obviously not a save situation with a 4-run lead, but
you know, you look at him, look at the batting average against is a 158. So these guys have some very good arms coming out of the bullpen. He's 7 for 7 and an ERA of just .79 in his 17 appearances. 25 strikeouts in 22 2/3 innings.
I think
crossed up. You could tell.
Barnhart caught that one out of self-defense alone.
That's not a good sign. First pitch cross up. Usually it's all right, let's go first pitch fastball. And looked like he was sitting for something else.
He shoots one the other way and it's fair. Down the line he goes towards second and he's in with a double. That'll lead off the ninth for Cleveland, down 4.
Well, there's one just down and away and he just shot it the other way. Stayed fair. Look how far off the line they're playing him down there. The kid down, the ball boy had to jump out of the way. It'll be a double for Encarnacion. Third double for the Tribe tonight.
Jose Ramirez looks at a strike. Ramirez doubled back in the 5th inning, shoots this one out of play to the left side. And the count quickly 0-2. Out of play. Ramirez. Usually a tough out for an opposing pitcher. Inside, and a 1-ball 2-strike stop. Maybe it had a chance to nick him. Indians need some base runners, down 4.
Yeah, they had a couple last inning off Lorenzen, but he was able to get out of it.
Oh, he took a call, 3rd strike on a fastball for out number 1. That is the 11th strikeout tonight for Cincinnati pitching.
Just kept this one down in the zone. A fastball right there. He didn't pull the trigger. Don't know what he was looking for, but he couldn't pull it, and it was a very good pitch. Out number 1.
Daniel Robertson will pinch hit. This is the pitcher spot in the order. It's his 7th at bat of the year for the Tribe. He's 1 for 6. 1 ball, 1 strike. Minnesota pounding Baltimore 12-6 in the 7th inning. Yankees lead the Royals 4-2. They're in the 9th. Tigers trail the Astros 1-0 in the 5th. Now the 1-2 to Robertson. Upstairs to even the count. Yan Gomes waiting on deck. Popped it foul, stay alive. Iglesias has thrown 12 pitches, and 9 out of the 12 have been strikes. Strike 3, call. 2 down.
They're just good low fastballs, darts that they're not able to pull the trigger. I don't know how tough he is to pick up. Six of their strikeouts have been called tonight.
Yan Gomes, the last hope for the Tribe, as he takes a called strike. Missed outside. Lays off. It was low. Popped up foul, back out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner at second. Here in the 9th with the Indians down 4. Cincinnati came in 13-12 at home this year, facing an Indians club that has been one of the best in baseball on the road at 15-9. Now the payoff pitch. In the air, center field, Hamilton racing back on the track, makes the catch. Cincinnati, after being swept in all 4 games last year by the Tribe, takes the opener here tonight by a final score of 5-1. Winning pitcher is Scott Feldman. He goes to 3-4. The loss to Josh Tomlin, who is now 2-6. Cincinnati now 21-23 on the year. The Indians are 23-20. For me, the story here tonight, was the tone Scott Feldman set early. He struck out 6 of the first 7, and that theme resonated throughout the game.